Okay, so I've been wanting to make an oversized book, a tome of sorts, for quite some time. So it's a big baby, about 17 inches high and 11 inches wide. I mean, it's basically 2 sheets of paper, high and wide. So I want it to have a aged, weathered, rustic look. It's kind of hard to tell, but all of these are tea dyed and are just recycled, weathered, and used looking. Very faint tea stains on there. I wanted to have sort of a I've been watching too many dystopian movies lately, so something made with materials that are not new, that have been reused, recycled, found, whatever. So she dyed these, and I'm struggling with the cover. I've always struggled with the cover. So there's such a big expanse, and I'm thinking to go with the tea-stained papers of using something rust dyed, maybe? That's kind of a nice industrial stain weathered look. I've also got this nautical chart. This is from 1931. Really beautiful patina on there. It's just so old and weathered. And the best part of this actually is the inside. Look at this. I mean, it almost looks like leather. It's so dirty and worn. And the lighting in here is not doing it justice, but it looks like leather. It really does. So, thinking about the chart can be, or the back could be the front cover. I could do the rust paper on the outside and use chart on the inside, maybe? To strengthen the cover, because this is a little flimsy. I want something a little more substantial for a book this size, so adding a frame will help with the rigidity and making it more substantial and holding up. So if I do something like this, which I'm kind of liking, what then would I do with the exterior, or the outer part of the frame? Just paint it like a black, neutral, maybe try to get a rust color? Should I try to cover it in a paper, which might be kind of fiddly? I've got more, I don't know. Or, I mean, it might take even more work, but I could use that fabric to cover. That might add a lot of bulk. I'm kind of leaning toward this paper with the frame and figuring out a treatment for the frame. And then maybe using either side of the chart. I think this inside's pretty cool. On the inside cover. Anyway, so these are the questions I'm pondering, and we'll see next what I've decided on. Okay, so I've been rolling things around in my head, and so what I decided on are these for the covers. So I will glue these on for covers, like so. And then I decided that I like the back side of the nautical charts for my inside cover pages. I mean, look at that. There's just, love it. Okay. So I will glue the front paper, inside paper. I'm trying to wrap my head around the order in which to do this. Then, after those have been glued and pressed, I'm going to try using this clear bookbinding tape and tape everything together. Now, my frame pieces, I think what I'm going to attempt to do is, at one time I did this sort of faux metallic finish, kind of different metallics all brushed together to sort of give it a patina look. This one is more, had copper with a little bit of silver and gold brushed over it, so it's a little more pale. Whereas this one is mostly copper with a little bit, just a touch of the others in there, a little bit of black. So, I don't know yet. This is just chipboard that I used a matte cutter on, so I get those nice edges. And then when I cut it out, I can just maybe ink the inside edge. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. So I will start with gluing and pressing the covers overnight, and then see if I run into any problems, which I'm sure I will, because I'm just flying by the seat of my pants, and we'll see what happens. But it's gonna be cool regardless anyway. My covers are dry and looking good. I love that dirty, grungy. Oh, it's delicious. Love it. Okay. There's that one. And then the back or front, whichever. I might make this the front cover. So good. It looks really nice. I'm happy with that. And the inside. This chart was used a lot. This one. Okay. So I've got my covers and my papers, which I've added a few because I can't help myself. So I keep making grungier and grungier papers. So these are tea dyed, a little drippier and wrinkly and more than I would normally do. But then when I did more rust printing, these were my under papers. And so I've got some of these in the center of each signature. I added some extra grungy, I don't know, just for fun. Because I like it. I'm really leaning toward the grunge right now. And then I also worked on my kind of frame bit. So I did a kind of a mock metal. I just brushed on a bunch of different metallics, copper, antique gold, black, to try to give it a little bit of a metallic look to pick up the colors in the rust. So this will give it some strength and frame. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it looks more like a framed picture than a book cover, but that's okay. Then I decided I want to add some rivets, some faux rivets. And I happen to have this bag of brads, and they're kind of chubby for other work. They don't lie flat. And so for a rivet, that's like perfect. So I made a little sample and I really like it. I think that looks pretty cute. So I think I'm gonna try that around the edge. This is all an experiment, and of course I'm kind of afraid of ruining it, but it's for me, so I don't care. This has given me an idea, so I'm going to change my mind on how I'm going to assemble this thing. I believe I'm going to tape my covers and spine in black tape. Then I will put on my frame. Then I think what I'm going to do, this inspired me, so this will have black tape, and I believe I'm going to put some cutouts on here. I like this window. So I have the scrap from the inside of this. So I will cut it into pieces and rivet it on. And again, it'll have the black tape and the background. So it can look like metal plating. And I might create a little window so I can feature something like that, or I might just have it metal plates with the rivets, because I think this book is so big and substantial that having something like a metal looking spine makes more sense, because it's pretty chonky. I'm going to attempt to tape these covers, and this part always makes me nervous. Get them lined up just right. Last time I used tape to hold them still, I kind of tore things a little bit, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm probably going to get my head in most of these shots, so I apologize before time. See this. Because then when I put this over it, that'll be hidden. Oh no, I might end up covering that. That'll be a bummer. Maybe I should do it with clear. That's an idea. Now I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I might use this really wide tape to cover the middle, and that way it'll only just cover up a tiny fraction of the lettering. I really like being able to see some of that. So this will have just enough overlap to reinforce, and then up here I can hide this with more paper scraps or whatever. So I'll dress that up and hide that. I like the way this is looking so far. I made a couple slight adjustments. I did use clear tape after all. I've never used it, and I thought I would try it out. I was a little nervous about how well it would adhere. It sticks really well to paper, but not to the book tape. It didn't stick, so I needed to make sure to trim off the extra bits. And then I had to put another piece of tape down the center because I realized if I piece my metal bits on here like I wanted to, that gap in the tape would have shown. But luckily, this is exactly the width of this tape, and I was able to put that over there. So let's see. Try this out. I think that's still plenty of room in there, even though I added some extra papers in here. There's still plenty of room. Oh, that's gonna look so great. Okay. And then with that on there, like so. And then I will add the rivets along the edge. Oops. And then add some more like lengths with rivets and glue that on. Then I will sew the signatures into a separate piece of chipboard and then glue it to the inside. Right now I'm just playing with how I might want to do these rivets on the spine. And spacing, I don't know. Maybe. I think I need to decide on my spacing on the cover rivets first, maybe. And then I can decide how much to add to the spine. So I'm gonna have to do some math. A lot of hole punching. And just kind of see what I like. All right. Look at that. I like that. Now I am punching my signatures. It's a little unwieldy. But, so I'll get started on that. And then I already glued paper onto my, I don't know what you call this piece that I stitched the signatures onto and then glued in the book. And I've already punched the holes, so many holes. And then that'll lay down glue inside the spine, and when you can see through the pages or see around the signatures, it will have something cool in the background. So anyway, punching holes in the signatures. There's only 6 pages per signature, but they're just big and floppy and a little hard to wrangle. So I will probably speed this part up because it's kind of boring. All of my signatures are punched, and now I will sew them onto this backing board, whatever you want to call this. And this is going to be very fiddly. I'm sure with a lot of flipping back and forth. And I'm using a very dark brown waxed linen thread. I would like to use one of my dyed strings, like grunge dried strings, but they separate and tangle very easily, and I want to keep this as simple as possible. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, done. Okay, so I intentionally left my tails long because I kind of think I have an idea for them. I'm so happy that actually worked. I think. So, yeah. That's, big, awkward, but did it. And now it is ready to be glued inside of my cover. what it looks like here. Oh, that's going to be covered up. That's too bad. But I'm liking the way that looks. Kind of looks a little bit like metal, right? Well, even if it doesn't, I really like it. I think the rivets add a really nice touch. So now I will just finish the second one. And then I will, I think, glue this down. I'll use a heavy gel medium that'll really adhere it, and it'll also keep these brads from moving around. All right, I have busted out every type of clamp I have. It's still not enough. Oh, I've got two more. Something I didn't consider when attempting to glue this sucker is how I was going to get it to stay put. So we'll see how this works. This is the back side. I started with the back first, just in case I did kind of muck it up. Just really need to make sure it gets a good adhesion, because of the way the brads make the board stick out a little bit. It's not a super smooth contact, so I need to make sure that I'm putting pressure in all the right places and not to touch it. We'll come back when it's dry. So I've marked my placement on these and punched the holes. So I hope I didn't do that too close to the top. Might have to cut that. It's a little wonky, but oh well. Now I'm wondering if I should probably glue these one at a time. Not really quite sure. Yeah, the best method of doing this. Making sure I get them all centered. So I will glue these on and prop this up to dry for a bit, and then I'll be back. So I'm very eager to see how this turned out. In fact, I'm still in my robe and pajamas. I was struggling with getting these binding pieces to adhere. It was very difficult to put pressure on those. And I had it flipped over the other way, but it wasn't heavy enough. And oh, it's looking like it worked. Oh, yep. Okay, good. That looks, they were popping up on the edges there a little bit. But no, it looks amazing. I'm so excited. This is, I think that's, I could say, pretty much complete. Let's get these out of the way. I like my dictionary there. Yep, I am pretty happy with that. I declare this journal finished. Yay! I thought I would do more thorough flip through since I kind of breezed through that really quickly. I've worked in it a little bit since, so I thought I would share what exactly I'm doing here. First off, this is how the inside with the clear tape turned out. It's okay. I don't think I really like the clear bookbinding tape, but I covered up where the black tape met. I still really love this patina. It works well for my purposes. And then the reason why I covered my backing board, or whatever you call it, with paper is because now when you see through in between signatures, there's a little bit of, it's intentional back there. So it just kind of adds a little extra, I don't know, professionalism, thoroughness, whatever. So, oh, and then the back cover is finished as well with little scraps and bits. So as I was kind of putting it together, like I said before, I like having kind of a character in mind when I'm creating journals like this. And since I just had watched Mad Max, it was my Fury Road, it was my sort of idea that Furiosa, the character, is trying to get back to the place of her birth, or that she left when she was a child. So I thought, what if she were collecting maps and directions back to where she thought the green place might be? And I've always kind of enjoyed playing with fantasy maps, sort of like a D&D map, or just creating little landscapes, whatever. So I just kind of doodled, played just for the heck of it, some desert-like maps, sort of based on a few of the landmarks in the movie. But this whole book is a lot to fill up with that kind of material. So then I switched to just general map making, like as if it were a compendium of lost places after the apocalypse. I don't know. So I have other little maps that I've played with, doodled. So I will start, oh, this goes over like this, I think. Don't remember. Oh, that one. Go. Maybe maps from atlases that survived with new information on them for the current world. A map I'm working on for my area, what it would look like post sea rise. It's the Puget Sound, Seattle area. That's a whole nother post. So I just gonna collect papers, doodle maps, and just keep adding them to my little book like it's a new post-world atlas. And I really think that'll be a fun project to work on and add to. So we'll see what that looks like down the road. But I'm very pleased with it, and I'm thinking about making another one. Stay tuned.